I didn't lose to many people in heads up, guys. I'm going to be honest with you. I did not lose to many people. I lost to Kanu. Okay, so let me tell you guys a little bit about moving up to NL5K, which is 2550. 2550 is a different animal than anything below it. It's not the same. And you only really learn that through experience. Because the people that play NL5, there are a bunch of guys, at least historically, who would play NL5K, but they wouldn't play below that. So you get like this tier of reg that's much stronger and much better. And so part of the growing pains of coming up in poker is eventually getting 2550 and taking some beatdowns. You're going to get beat down because you're just not quite there yet. I'm sure some people ran hot out of the gate. That's good. But I guarantee you most regs who eventually made high stakes, at some point they started playing 2950 and they got owned for some period of time and they turned it around. So one of the guys who was like a real gatekeeper in the heads up streets was Alex Millar, Kanu. And I played Kanu many, many times in my career. Starting with this session where I lost like half my roll to him pre-Black Friday, where he was clearly better than me. But the thing was, I played people even if they were better than me because I wanted to learn. I had the session against Kanu where he played clearly better than me. I didn't really realize it at the time, but I slowly realized over time that I was outmatched and I lost a ton of my roll. And it was right before Black Friday. And I was like, haha, guys, joke's on you. I have no money stuck on full tilt. See, you got. I still had like 27K or something, but I had like 100 and something beforehand. Anyway, I was clearly outmatched. Then we played on Party for a year or two. He always beat me there. Kanu always fucking beat me, man. Always. And then I was slowly getting better. I was slowly moving up the ranks. And then I started to play Kanu at 5100 because I was beating other people. And then one day he told me, I'm not going to play you anymore. And it was right as I finally was like, I think I got this guy figured out. I think I'm now strong. And after years of losing to this guy on every fucking site, down so many goddamn buy-ins, I've got this guy now. I can beat this guy. If we play, I will eventually win every dollar fucking bag. And he's like, I'm not playing you anymore. I was like, what do you mean? He's like, we're not going to play anymore. And I was just like, it was so like it was bittersweet. I mean, okay, so on one hand, it's like, yes, like finally got this fucking guy. On the other hand, did I? Or did he just get me? But that was kind of a cool moment. I remember another moment. The first moment, so my game selection in my whole career was this. Don't play people named Ike Haxton. Don't play people named Ben Sulsky. If they happen to not be named one of those two names, play them. Unless you're in my crew. Which luckily most people weren't named Ben Sulsky or Ike Haxton. So the day came where I had beaten pretty much everybody. And there came a day where I realized I was going to have to play these two guys. There was no way around it. There were no people left. I could only like nitty bum hunt for so long. If I wanted to be one of the best, I was going to have to take these two guys on. No doubt. I remember the first of the two, I played Ike. And I remember this because it was, I want to say 2000 and... Guys, I remember this really well because it was... Oh, what was the date? No. I want to say it was 2013 or 2012. The reason I remember playing him this session was because... I shouldn't have folded that, by the way. I just knitted it up. The reason I remember it was the first day that I was worth $1 million. Which you remember. You remember your first day you're worth $1 million. It's like kind of notable, right? And I was like, okay, I'm worth $1 million. No one will play me. Let's go. I'll play Ike at 2550. And I played Ike. And that was the day I realized that Ike was not very good at heads up no limit. Now, Ike's an extremely smart guy. I've always felt he's been kind of weak in tournaments and a few other game types as well. I played in PLO. He seemed really good there, but I suck at PLO, so maybe that's fair. But I was very much let down by how bad Ike was at heads up no limit. Now, that's not to say that he was, like, terrible. He's obviously a smart guy. He had some advanced stuff developed. But, like, he wasn't very tough. Like, he'd go through, like, spurts where he'd put, like, he threw a ton, and before he'd always jam. And, like, he had this, like, hard-on for small pocket pairs that I just really never really quite fully understood. A lot of his frequencies were kind of weak. He was kind of weird. He was mainly weird. And he would go through these like sprees, 3-bet a lot, 3-bet a lot, 3-bet, and then jam if you 4-bet. And then he'd go through sprees where he played conservatively. He did all kinds of weird shit, but it wasn't tough, man. It was disappointing. Sauce, I had the opposite experience with. Sauce, when I played, I learned so fucking much the first time I played Sauce. I don't remember. I think I lost. I'm pretty sure I lost. I remember I played Sauce, and it was when he was in peak check back the flop. Territory. Now, I had my own software developed to be able to look at the game tree. It was super primitive. It just showed like basically all of their game tree, and you could filter by texture and stuff. Anyway, so I remember playing Sauce the first time, and after the session, I was looking through his stats. And I was like, what the fuck? This guy only c-bet the flop 20%. I was in Japan with JMO, and we were like hanging out. And we were looking at the numbers, and we're like, what the hell was that shit? And then I saw if you checked back, all the delay lines had high frequency. And I realized that I wasn't really defending those completely appropriately. And I was like, holy shit, this guy's playing like the majority of his strategy out of the delay and the double delay. And I remember that so specifically because it opened my mind to the amount of lines that I was not adequately balancing. People are really concerned with balancing their c-bets and balancing their check raises. But people aren't really concerned with balancing their total delay frequency and then bluff to value ratio on the barrel. Or how often do they go bet check? Or what percentage of thin value bets turn to check back versus what goes for double delay? People don't fucking care about that shit. And I felt like a whole new world of potential ideas was like at my fingertips. And man, from that session on, I just smashed everybody. And I mean, I'd already kind of made it to the top, but like just looking at how Sauce played was so well crafted and intelligent. I just like, I don't know. It was truly eye opening. Like I would not have become the player I did if I had not played against Sauce. Because it made me so much better to see how well together he played his strategy. But here was Sauce's problem, and ultimately this is why I ended up beating him in the long run. Sauce had this inability to view things from the other person's side that was blinding. And I understand why it happened. Sauce, I'd say was, maybe is. Sauce might be the smartest poker player that ever lived, honestly, in terms of just like how brilliant the guy is at putting together strategies. He's just so fucking smart, man. If anyone has just a knack for putting together high-level strategy, it's Sauce. The guy is just unbelievable. And so no one really beat him because people weren't intelligent enough to really micro break down exactly what he was doing. I mean, this sucks, but we're gonna have to fold, obviously, to like get in there and really like break down exactly what he was doing, right? And so he just beat everybody. And then I think like once you've been at the top for so long, you just get this like, oh, it doesn't matter what they do, I'm just gonna win because I've just beaten fucking everybody. Like for example, I know that Kanu and Sauce played a bunch, and Sauce always destroyed Kanu, which really shows like on the totem pole where I was, the guy that Kanu was just a bitch smack, like, this guy's trying to play an L5K again. Oh, look at him. This guy's trying to play an L5K again. And so I think when that happens, and Sauce talked about this in his interview with, Joey.
I'm definitely worried about, him playing one session and then disappearing for a month and grinding in the lab and then appearing again and just torching me. So that seems like maybe a possibility. So I don't want to commit to anything where it just says, oh yeah, I'll play you anytime, any place, and yada yada, because I'm not convinced that I have an edge in the first place, and who knows what the heck he's got going on.
I think when that happens, it becomes more difficult for you to really view things from your opponent's eyes, because you have your perception is that I will win because of how strong my strategy was, and he had really cleverly put together strategies, but they were not perfect. Definitely not perfect. We still don't play perfect poker. No one does. And I spent all of my time figuring out how Sauce worked. And so you essentially have a guy playing a non-perfect strategy, but refusing to change it, against a guy who is spending all of his time figuring out exactly what that strategy is and countering it. And the result is not good, because the result is you play 20 or 25K hands where one guy is way up in your shit and knows exactly what you're up to. And so, like, if Sauce and I like made up a game and we had to play it, Sauce would absolutely destroy me. I'm not a natural poker talent. I'm not. There are a lot of guys who are. I got a lot of respect for those guys. I'm not one of them. But I outworked people. And I'm really good at figuring things out, and I stick with shit. I stick with it until I get somewhere. So anyway, that was just not a good matchup for Sauce, man. And like during the challenge, he was going to school and shit. I was like, my life was just like in per 24 hours. Every 24 hours consisted of 6 hours of sleep and 18 hours of playing Sauce and or studying Sauce. I mean, like, you're not going to beat that if you're not also trying to, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a disadvantage you can't win from. And he was also doing a bunch of weird-ass shit. There's a really cool stat from the challenge that I played with Sauce where, by the way, this is my favorite moment of my entire career, was winning that challenge. But, because, like, it was like, I finally did it. I finally got to the top of this. Funny stat from the challenge, though. It's probably going to be the only challenge in history this has ever happened. We both lost money on the button. Both of us. That's fucking crazy. I'm sure there's a ton of variance there, but he lost money on the button because he was being a fucking dumbass. I don't know why he thought he could do what he did against me. That was not going to happen. I lost money on the button because I tried a variety of strategies, most of which didn't work because he was just shutting me down. Sauce plays like a goddamn fucking animal in the big blind. There's a small list of people who beat me in red line. Sauce destroyed me in red line. But it didn't matter because the green line was where it was at.